was a stony part of the beach, but when you got closer it was all these white oyster shells. My son was dying to get a pair. My daughter's doing a little ASMR there. It was a belvedere, which means a viewpoint that is high up. So it was steep.
This is Jen, ASMR. Subscribe before you fall asleep.
Hi there, my lovely, lovely sleepy squirrels. I hope that you are all well. In this video, I am going to be showing you a whole bunch of leaflets and little trinkets, and just kind of doing a show and tell, follow along of my holidays this summer. We took 2 holidays, one in Normandy, which I will start with. There will be some vlog footage laid over, and I have all the little things that we got in the gift shops and things like that. And then the second trip we did was literally just after, and it was a gift for my birthday, and we went to the Jura, which is the southeast of France, where it borders Switzerland in the mountains. So a lot of hiking and stuff. It was lovely. But let's start off on Monday I want to say 4th, because I think it was the 4th. On Monday the 4th, we set out for Normandy. And la manche, when I think of manche, is like sleeve. It's a sleeve. If you like translate it directly, I don't know if it means sleeve. Like, is it a sleeve? Is that what it's all about? But yeah, it's basically the northwest of France. This part of the northwest of France, and it is where the beaches of Normandy were stormed. Here, and here. And this is where you get the ferry to go to England, Ireland, and the Channel Islands as well. So we got a little Airbnb, actually an abritel, but it's the same kind of thing. It's just the French Airbnb, I guess. Abritel. And it was around here, just to the north of Coutances. And Coutances is kind of the town that we spent most of our time in, like when we had to go buy stuff for food, or if we had to like go to the tourist office or anything like that, we ended up in Coutances. Here. The first evening that we arrived, so the Monday evening, we actually went to Coutances, and we did 2 things. One, we went to the tourist office, we grabbed all of these so we could really have a sit down and have a look at all that and decide where we were going. We did not plan our trip very much beforehand. And the second thing we did was we visited this little cathedral, which was very pretty and had a gorgeous organ, all wood carved. Then we went back to our Airbnb. And then we started planning. We wanted to do a lot of like World War II stuff, because obviously there is a lot going on around here. But then we decided to do the D-Day experience. And you had to book it like the night before, like before 5. So we ended up doing that on the Wednesday. So the Tuesday we decided to go to a castle. But not any castle. I'll wait till you see it. It's called Rocher, Portail, la nouvelle école des sorciers. So it is a witch school, and it is obviously Hogwarts, but they don't obviously have the rights to say it's Hogwarts, and they've just changed the name of all the 4 houses. They've got different teachers, and they call it Rocher Portail, although I think the castle was already called Rocher Portail. And the guy that has this castle, that owns it, did a little wizardy corner that ended up being really popular, and he transformed the entire castle now into a wizarding school. And yeah, basically it works really well. Everybody loves it and it's brilliant. So it seems to be only open during school holidays, which makes sense. For example, here the Easter holidays, they have the forest, the Forbidden Forest, La Forêt Interdite. Then during the summer, the Melendal competition. The autumn holidays, they have the Treasure Crypt, and then in the Christmas holidays, they have the ball. And you have like the choice of either doing the day experience or the evening show kind of thing. It's so cool. We did the day experience because I think the evening show was like, I don't know, like 60 euros per person, and the day experience was like 20 something. So we're like, let's just do the day. We just need the day, it's fine. So their visit is about 4 hours, 3,000 meters squared, authentic decorations with special effects. The first thing you do when you arrive is you go for your guided visit, your guided tour. And during the tour, you go through the castle. They lead you all around the castle. And every now and again, you meet a teacher, and you either have like a little potions class, or there's like a little magic show, or there's a lot of interaction during the visit. There's special effects. There's like sleight of hand. There's a lot of like fun activities and stuff. And once your visit is finished, then you kind of just wander around, and there's places to take photos of yourself on broomsticks beside a car that looks suspiciously like one in Harry Potter. There is a woman with an owl walking around. We didn't see the bouncy castles. I guess we skipped that part. And there's like the dining hall and everything. I think when you stay for the evening, you actually eat in the dining hall, and there's like a show on the stage and stuff. It was very cool. Via la TV, seen on the TV. Let me try and remember what the best things were. Here is a little map that they give you. So yeah, when you arrive, you go into, that's the actual castle here, and you go around your visit. And there was this guy that was so funny. He was this like bald guy with so much charisma, and he was like very grumpy, and he was very rude, but like in a fun way. He was our favorites. Well, actually, my daughter and my son's favorite was the younger teacher that was a bit like shouty. So yeah, we did that, and I filmed a few things, just like some decor and things like that, not like the people or the teachers or the shows or anything, because I thought that would be a little disrespectful. But I did film for our personal viewing when my daughter was chosen as one of the helpers during one of the classes, if you will, and she was chosen to take part in like part of the show. He was the teacher, and he asked 3 people, so it was my daughter, this woman, and this guy, and they all went up and kind of just had to like hold things and did what he told them. Like my daughter had a chalice and a book. She had to look in the book and find a word, and then she had to throw the word at the other guy who had his chalice on his head, and then there was sound effects, and they made gold coins. It was so fun. My daughter was absolutely loving it. She was a little embarrassed, but like such a good sport. It lasted like 15-20 minutes, and it was really the highlight for class just because she was involved, you know. And in the other classrooms and stuff, some of the other kids were chosen, and you know, it was very fairly done, I found. So I bought some of these gold coins in the gift shop when I was leaving. I got 2, and I actually did not give them to the kids straight away. I pretended that I was allowed to do a bit of magic before we left, and I told them to get stones in the car park and put them in my hands and pour water on it. It made sense at the time because that was like part of one of their potions classes. Not exactly that, I just kind of was a bit, I just did what I could with what I had at the car park. And then when the kids were going to like get the water to pour on my hands, I just popped the coins and the stones, and I just dropped the stones when they poured the water on my hand each, and then when I turned my hands around there was gold coins. Obviously my daughter is 14 in a few weeks, so she obviously did not believe that we had made gold coins, but my son did believe, and he was like, let's do it again, Mom, let's do it again, can we do it again? I was like, no, they told me we're only allowed to do it once, and once we're off the castle grounds we couldn't do it ever again. So it was very cute. So yeah, we did that, and then there was a selfie area, and that was where you could jump on the broom to make it look like you were flying. There was like a little interactive wand thing where you could fight somebody, and you just like shake the wand at each other and the big screen will show who's winning, kind of thing. Then there was this part, the gardens. There's like a little labyrinth, but not like one you would lose yourself in, just a pretty one. And then you had the Forbidden Forest, which had a little Hagrid-esque kind of hut, a little wooden chalet, and a few like games like archery, and there was like a big net in the trees that you could go around. It was lovely. Then they had this little snack bar. I think this is where all the games were. We just didn't go there. But there was like a little snack bar here, and we got these drinks. It was like the special drink of the place. It tasted like you were drinking like apple flavored ice pops, you know, the ices, but fizzy and cold. And then yeah, you came back to this area again at 4:30, and there was like a big circle. Everybody that was there for the day had like got into a big circle, and the teachers were in the middle, and they taught you like a little dance with the music. It was adorable, and like you had to do an R and a P, and then they taught you like different moves, but it was like as if you had a magic wand, but you used your finger, because not everybody had a magic wand, of course. Yeah, so it was really fun. The kids absolutely loved it, and we kind of loved it too. It was really good. And then you could get your picture taken with the different teachers, which was great because the kids acted like they were famous people. Like the kids were like, oh my god, can I get my picture with him or with her and stuff. Oh, and I forgot there was a really cool little extra thing. There was a girl, and she was a ghost, and she had like pigtails and freckles and stuff, and her makeup was all white. She obviously is kind of like, what's her face? Myrtle. Screaming, was her name? Moaning Myrtle, that's it. I was going to say Screaming Myrtle, no. Moaning Myrtle. She was called Margot, and it was really funny. She appeared during the first teacher's like show kind of thing, and he like was acting like he couldn't see her, but he could just smell her because she smelled like cinnamon, waxy gingerbread. And she actually really did smell like gingerbread, like really strongly. So when she was walking around, we were outside, you could actually smell her. It was such a lovely detail. And every now and again during the visit, she would just kind of show up and smell like gingerbread and talk to people. And, you know, she was really lovely. Yeah, I would definitely recommend this to anyone. It's lovely, lovely, lovely. So that was our first full day. We did a few other little things because obviously we had to like have a little walk in the morning. We also had to find somewhere to eat in the evening, things like that. We a lot of the time just grabbed like a McDonald's or a sandwich at the boulangerie in general, and also just pasta, just making pasta in the evening. So yeah, that was our first trip that we did. And then the next day was our D-Day experience day. And for this one, there's maybe just a little touch more stuff to have a look at, because not only were there so many different little things to visit, like the little barricades, different museums, the Wings Museum, there was the Omaha Beach Memorial Museum, Overload Museum, all sorts of different things you could go and see. We did visit like a few little memorials and things like that, but mostly we decided to spend our day at this one because it was the most like elaborate visit we could find. So we arrived at about 10 in the morning. I think it was about 9:30, 10 in the morning, and they gave us this. Yeah, you can see that's like what it looks like. So these two buildings here, and we opted for the full complete visit, which is museum, flight simulator, and film. And for example, our DJ experience flight simulator was at 1700 hours, 5 o'clock. Our cinema was at 4 o'clock, and the museum, like the general museum, was in this area. And then they have this museum here also, with a gift shop in here and a gift shop in there. And what we did is we spent the morning doing the first museum and the first gift shop. So let me show you what we got in the gift shop. In the first museum, we got these two fridge magnets. Aren't they so cute? We have the airborne patch as a fridge magnet. Isn't it cool? It's lovely. It's funny because when you go in for your visit, like to the museum, you go directly into a jam-packed boutique, like gift shop. And it's full of like mugs and hats and t-shirts and hoodies and a lot of stickers and patches and everything you can think of, jigsaws, toys. So we actually did a little shopping before we even started our visit in the museum. And this one is the We Can Do It. The women, showing that the women did a lot also. So we got this one and this one. This one sounds better because it's all 3D. So yeah, these, we usually get fridge magnets wherever we go. If we do like a full week trip or something, we'll get one or two. Or if we go to a theme park, we've got some from theme parks as well. So these two are up on the fridge already. And then my daughter and my partner both got a hat, and they both got the same hat too. This one. Oh, it's so cool. They chose the best one. Okay, so here we have a 38. We have a star on this side, or this front part, and on this side you have this. And these are the things that are painted on the side of the different planes. And it says Curtis P40 Warhawk. Oh, target design there on it. And this was definitely the coolest one. There was a whole bunch of different cabs, but they chose the best one. I was gonna get one, but I didn't like any of the designs, and they both had already chosen this one. I was like, I can't be a third person. We can't be like an entire family with these. I'll just steal one of theirs every now and again. I can't remember the name of these. We saw a few with this design. Like, not in the shop. This was the only one with that design in the shop, but we saw a few things with that design while we were there. There was a lot of people, a lot of tourists. It's very, very popular, but still comfortable. Like, there was space, we could really walk around. The museum wasn't too packed. They give you like a start time, I guess. That kind of helps. And I filmed a touch of me walking around in this first part of the museum. But before I show you that, let me show you what my son got. He chose this full jumpsuit. Isn't it cool? For sticks garments. And it is just this like full army jumpsuit. It's amazing. I got it in size 10 years. Size L, 10 years. And we just like folded up the sleeves. The legs didn't need folding up, but the sleeves did. And he basically, it was really hot that day. We were all in like shorts and t-shirt, and he literally put this on at the very beginning of the visit, and he kept it on all day throughout all of the different activities. I think he took it off at the beach because it was a little hot. But through the visit, and we've got some great photos of him standing next to the mannequins with their gear on and stuff. It was so cool. This was 45 euros, so a little more expensive than like a kid's dress up kind of thing. But I was like, listen, if you really like this and you're gonna wear it and you're gonna enjoy it, and you know you're really gonna use it a lot during the holiday and also when we get home and stuff, I'm okay, you can have this. But it is the only thing you get today, and this is like about 10:15 in the morning, so he would really need to keep it in check all day and be like, okay, I don't need this, I don't want that, I don't want that, because I got this. And to his credit, he was a gem. He wore this all day, and he's worn it plenty times since already. And he asked for a few more things during the day, but very quickly was like, oh no, it's okay, I've got my jumpsuit, you know. I was really proud of him. He's already put things in the pockets, let me check. He has a little clicker. These are like the little clickers bouncers use to see how many people are coming in and going out of the club. I can't think of other uses for these. I can't remember, my partner bought this for some reason. It was something to do with his lessons or something. But yeah, that's the only reference I have to what these are for. They're just counters, clickers to count in. Like you have one in one hand to count people coming in and one in the other to count people coming out. And then you can tell how many people there are. You know? He's got that in his pocket. Does he have other stuff? There's something down here. He's making use of all of his pockets. Oh, this is one of his little spy kit things, and it's like, I think this is a little thing to listen. yeah, you pop that against the door or the wall and you can listen to what's going on the other side. It doesn't work very well. Probably better off using just a glass against the wall. But he likes all his little spy gadgets. Okay. And one of the cool things is that here, the patch on the front here is Velcro. So he will be able to pop any patch he wants on here. I might make him like a little custom one or something. Get like one, not printed, because it's, you know, embroidered. There we go. I might like get an embroidered one with his name on it and be like Captain or something. I don't know. I'll think about it. But yeah, it's really well made and it's really like sturdy and thick. So I was happy with that. I was happy to let him have that. So that's everything that we got in the gift shop, and then we did the visit in the museum. So let me just pop the footage of the museum in here and I'll do a little voiceover. We start in the downstairs part, and there's this big display case with this guy, Private Hoffman, Frank M. Hoffman, and there's like a big collection. Look, you can see his name on his trousers. And this is like a big collection of all of his personal stuff. Excuse the light. My daughter's trying to like stop the light reflecting, but I was like, yeah, you're not going to be able to do that the whole time. They have his patches, his hat, his jacket, all his other patches, his bag with his name on it, Hoffman, US. His little manuals, soldier's handbook, his weapon, or weapons, had a knife too, a few. And just like all of the little details. This little French thing, what to do if you're captured. Just like lots of information, and his shoes, his boots, 2 pairs of his boots, his cricket. So there are some sections that are more general like this. So you have like a bunch of medical stuff, so like medic and pharmacy, all sorts of little tiny vials and everything. Look at this, it's crazy. Something to give an IV, all the different bandages and scissors, all the little vials of medication. And like they would all have their own little kit of morphine, and you're only allowed to give it to yourself, not to give it to someone else. But like this is more like lots of medic stuff, burn cream. Some of it I have no idea what it is. Most of it, let's face it. But yeah, it was pretty interesting to see like poison ivy treatment, adhesive tape, lots of different acids and powders and whatnot. Surgeons, rubber gloves. Yeah, the hospital that was bombarded. There's like little screens everywhere showing you some stuff. I think that's a stretcher. And then here is like a long display case of hats. Like hats at the bottom, a little bit about the guy, and then their jacket. Mosley. There. And this is when I explained to my son that these are actual people's like work jackets and stuff. Then you've got the bombers, as in the bomber jackets, not people bombing, but yeah. And they were amazing. I think my partner would really want one of these, like a lot of people would. The Brotherhood of the Jungle from Maryland. They're just all sorts. These are those little cricket clickers that I learned about this. Like, this is probably the thing that I actually learned this day. I didn't learn a lot because, like, obviously World War II is pretty prevalent in the school system, let's say. But yeah, that I did learn what the clickers are for. Look at that badge. Crazy. Wildcat with a bullet in its mouth, or a bomb. Bombing France. The crew lunch. Hershey's tropical chocolate, sweet chocolate, lifesavers, and Orbit chewing gum. Little parachute rations, chocolate and cheese and crackers. Everything is so interesting, like every tiny little detail. More medic stuff, normal human plasma, some distilled water, safety pins, tourniquets, Navy expendable blood recipient set. Interesting. All these little pocket cases and things to like carry around. You have some coffee, gold tip gum. I don't know what most of these things are. Camel cigarettes, toothbrushes, patches, lots of different types of gum. That is a huge box of Wrigley's spearmint gum. Little comic, French phrase book, all that could be useful. Phone receiver there. Some clogs. And then they had this like full section here with like mannequins in costume, and like you can see like the buildings are like the faces of the buildings. You have the tanks, just like it was really well done. You're just like walking down the street. It feels like you're behind like a barrier, but it really does feel like you're walking down the street in the evening with all of this going on. And here, just on the left there, we have the US military removing the Nazi flag to replace with the US flag there. Like you have some injured soldiers, some just like hanging out, some smiling. All the way down. Some motorbikes. It was a really well done museum where it just wasn't too much. Sometimes museums can be just a bit too much, but it was just perfectly balanced. So that was a museum here. And since we had a good few hours to wait until our next like timed thing, the 3D cinema, we decided that we would keep 1 hour for this part of the museum, which was more of like the German side. So we kept 1 hour, so we're like, okay, we gotta be back at 3, half to 3, so let's go and get lunch and go to the beach. You've got the 5 different points, like the landing places for D-Day, and we, like our Airbnb was here, the museum was here, and we just popped over to Utah Beach for our little lunch. So we walked around Utah Beach. We saw a little memorial or two, a few little refuge places, like bunkers and stuff. I grabbed these 2 little oyster shells as a little memento, and I thought maybe I could, like, I don't know, turn them into something. I wasn't really sure. I was like, they're just so pretty and white. And it looked like it was stones, like it looked like it was a stony part of the beach, but when you got closer, it was all these white oyster shells. So I thought I would just grab some because they would make nice sounds for a video. But then I could turn them into jewelry or something. Obviously not like big ruby earrings, but like maybe a pendant or something. I'm not really sure. I didn't really think it through. I just thought they'd make nice sounds for this video. And they were pretty and white and pearly white. So yeah, we had lunch, spent a little time at the beach. Then we came back and went to the second part, the little German part of the museum, which was kind of like an old house that had been transformed into a museum. So it was very like tight. There was not much space, so I didn't film or anything. But attached to it was the boutique for that part of it, and my goodness, it was completely different. Like the first boutique, you're like in there's mugs and fridge magnets and all this kind of stuff. In the second boutique is where all of the original stuff is. Like, you can buy chewing gum that belonged to an actual person in the Second World War. You can buy like original equipment, bags, so much stuff. I filmed some of that, so I'll overlay that right now and do a little voiceover so you can see what was there. Very interesting stuff, crazy. So instantly, like, there's chocolate everywhere. Like, lots of different types of chocolate. Nestle chocolate, chocolate caramels, a fruit bar, sugar, just a packet of sugar. Some little cutlery sets, some coffee, 125 euros for some coffee there. Some emergency field cookers, just so much stuff. And these are jackets, but I don't think they're like someone's jacket. I think they're 425 euros. I think they were unused ones, maybe. I don't know. Some of these flags are grimy. They must have been used. A bunch of kit. Just like anything you can imagine, like a hairbrush. Matches, I think. A lot of gum. Barbasol. I guess that's like grooming stuff. There's toothbrushes, like full grooming kits. The prices are like a lot. 495, but I don't know what part of it is for. Belts, a grenade, 150 euros for a grenade, anyone? And just like random little things. It's so interesting. Like someone's literal gun. There's like all the little pins and all the little tiny pieces of equipment that you could think of. And they're all original. Reproduction over here. You can get like reproductions of like bombs and like grenade type things, belts and fixtures, gloves. Jackets, camouflage stuff, little tins. Love the little poster up there. The style is so like nostalgic feeling, even though I wasn't alive then. Ball caps. I was looking at this for my father-in-law. I probably should have got it actually, now that I'm looking back. He would have liked that. But yeah, just like some things are reproduction and some things are original. You can tell by the prices if it's reproduction or not. Like, it's a reasonable price. Obviously the stuff that is originally from that era, some berries. The stuff that is originally from that era obviously is more expensive, and it is reasonable to ask a higher price for it because, you know. Lots of patches. These are original patches. Like, I don't know if they were ever like on someone's things and removed or not. You can buy actual dog tags. That's crazy. I guess if they didn't have any family that would collect them over the years. You have the little manuals. Thinking of you stationery kit. What are these? Instruction for removal of dog tags. Like little buttons and stuff. I was like, wow. I spent so much time just looking at all this stuff. Look at it all. There's someone's little shoulder stripes. Different medals. Lettering, cartooning. All sorts of fun stuff. Again with the medals. People's stripes. I like those ones, they were nice. Whistles. I didn't get any of the stuff because I didn't really know the significance, so it was just pretty. And then you have like the bags, original ones, and obviously reproductions also. These are really cool. I like these. I don't think I would use them. I have no use for them, but I thought they were very cool. There's just a lot. Maps and pencils, like original sets of pencils from back then, and tools. TNT. Some TNT, anyone? Some medical stuff like soap, some gauze. You'd have to be like a real collector to be buying gauze from then. Like you want a bandage from World War II to put in a display case or something. Little vials, little packages, masks. American Forces Network, War Correspondent. That's cool. Like if your uncle was a war correspondent or something, that would be a really cool present. That makes sense. Like some photos and postcards. Brown down, I don't know what that is. Canteens. Here was some sports stuff. So like gloves, catcher's mitts, play ball, baseball guide, the balls and helmets. And here you have some pretty interesting cufflinks. Very interesting. This is like a woman's corner with like a few women's items. Like there's like a women's uniform. Looks pretty cool. March of the Women Marines. Hospital stuff too. So after this part that you just saw, the boutique here, we went in for our cinema show, which was about 45 minutes, and it was quite interesting, but I fell asleep just a touch. You know that way you kind of fall asleep, but like you wake up probably only 20 seconds later, but like that happened about 4 or 5 times during it, just because it was a really hot day, and then we were suddenly in a nice cool dark room and I was just knackered, so but I saw most of it. And then we went to our flight simulator, which was really fun. It was like, let me see, I think there are some pictures in here. I didn't film like the flight simulator, of course. Here, okay, so yeah, that's the Dead Man's Corner Museum that we went to. A historical house in the heart of the battle, and that's like where the German stuff is, or was. It still is, but you know. And then here is the 3D cinema. Dive into D-Day with the 3D giant screen theater. You can get them in different languages, like you have little headsets, but I decided just to watch the French one because I thought, like, oh, I'm tired, maybe I should get the English one, but then I was like, no, that's just gonna, I'm just gonna hear both and it's gonna be confusing. Like, if I didn't understand the French one, the English one would be good because I wouldn't be, like, my ears wouldn't be picking up both, if you know what I mean. So that was good. And then here is the flight simulator. A never before seen flight simulation. So you step into the briefing room with Colonel Wolverton. So you sit in the briefing room and they act like you're really going, and they tell you how many knives you have and what they're for and stuff like that. Then you board a real C-47. You can see like on the outside. Like that. And then on the inside you're just sitting like that, and the screens are like the little windows, and it goes and it shakes and it, you know, it does all sorts. It's really fun. Relive the flight from England to Normandy, just like in 1944. So it wasn't like scary. It didn't like go up or down or do anything crazy. So there's no like fear. It was just really like quite cool, and on the screens you would see like the land disappearing and you would see planes going past, and there was like explosions and stuff like that, so it was a bit like wow. But then we crashed and it was still fine, but then at the very end, the guy that led us there and then came to get us afterwards kind of opened the door like it was an emergency and was like, okay everybody, let's go. And my son just started bawling, crying. It was such a shame because he really enjoyed it, but he was still very like apprehensive. It didn't help that my partner was telling him all day that we're actually going to jump with parachutes. So he was a little nervous. Like, I don't think he believed we were going to jump with parachutes really, but he was still a little like, what could happen? I don't know what could happen. And when that guy came in and started shouting to be like, let's go, he just freaked out and he just quickly removed his seatbelt, ran outside and just stood there crying. I just hope it didn't ruin the experience for him, but he was fine after just a few minutes and a bit of a cuddle. He was fine. So yeah, that was the D-Day experience. And as it was my birthday around that time, they sneakily got me this, which was really fun, because during the like trip around the museum I was really interested in like what was that. I was like, what is that they've all got on their necks and stuff, and I found out by just like reading, and it was actually really interesting. Like they use these to like find each other and make sure you're not an enemy. Like you click that once because obviously they couldn't speak to each other because they would be putting them in danger, so they just clicked once, and if you were friendly you would click twice back, and if you weren't you would just get shot. Like if you didn't click back. It's pretty cool. And I have a little book explaining the history of it and stuff. It's a really interesting little thing, little trinket. I have my own World War II cricket clicker. I have no like use for it, but I have one. And I'm definitely not going to click it right now because it's so loud, unbelievably loud. There's this clicker. I keep saying clicker, it clicks, but it's a cricket. There's this cricket. So that was an unbelievably important piece of kit you could not lose, or you may lose in your life. Dun, dun, dun. So that's everything I have to show you for that part of the trip. Then the next day, we just did a few walks around the place. We went to a few secondhand like shops, mostly for like clothes. My daughter was looking for some specific things for some cosplay, so we popped into Coutances, and there were like 5 different friperies, 5 different secondhand clothes shops. So we went into a bunch of those. I filmed one of them, so either I'll pop that up now with a little voiceover, or after this. Yeah, let me do it now. So here is one of the little secondhand shops that we went to, which we didn't actually buy anything from. The stuff we got, we bought from the other 2 that we went to. 1, 2, 3 out of the 5. Some vintage records to start, and then a whole bunch of colorful dresses straight away. That's one thing that I really love in vintage shops, is just all the different patterns. Some luggage, and this cool bag. I don't need any bags, but I was interested in this one. And some clothes over here, some like guys' clothes. I saw a few t-shirts which were interesting, but these sizes were too big for my partner, so I didn't get anything. I like this Tommy jeans long sleeve. There were like a few, like they looked like they were going to be metal shirts or something, but they were just not what I always drawn to like that kind of faded grey, like it used to be black kind of t-shirts for myself and for my partner too. He's not really into it. All these trousers and skirts that look like curtains. Bit tartan. Yay. And then some crochet stuff. I wanted to have a look at this. I think it was probably knitted. And this I thought was adorable. Look at that. Isn't that adorable? I think I showed it to my daughter. I was like, how cute would it be for autumn? And she was like, yeah, no thanks, Mom. Classic chair there. And then here she had some like homemade, like handmade crochet stuff. The prices were a bit out of order. 45 euros for a crochet bandana. I was like, oh my goodness. Okay. Like I get it, it takes a long time and everything, but well, some jackets. Nice embroidery there. Coats more like. Some blankets, scarves and hats. Like that purple. Not for me, but just in general. Some flyers for roundabout. And then the sunglasses. My son was dying to get a pair. My daughter's doing a little ASMR there. You can see her tapping on the sunglasses. The ones that he wanted work, I think they were just Shein little flame sunglasses. They were cute, but I'm not paying 12 euros for a Shein pair of glasses. They weren't really vintage. This was though. It was interesting. These I think are newer. I think they might have been like handmade. They're like colorful ones. I feel like someone made them. And just a few little items here, like homeware stuff. And then into some jewelry. The jewelry was half vintage and half like made, like it'd been made recently. I don't know if it was by the actual shop owner or friends or colleagues or whatever, but this was pretty cute. The little pearl dangling. That's the one I thought was pretty cute, but I didn't get that. And down here, these were definitely like recently made. I thought this one was quite cute. But again, not really my style. And a few dresses over here. Just like, I like just all the different patterns and stuff. These tops. Like some of them are just really bad. And some of them are so interesting. Crushed velvet. This was interesting. I may have got that one if it was not like during a heat wave. I might have thought about it more. Just the idea of a scratchy jumper was just like, no. If I was ever going to wear like a scratchy jumper like that, I would need like a long sleeve underneath. It would need to be real cold. And all the shoes. She had some really interesting pieces. Like there are obviously vintage and then kind of mixed in with some stuff. It's like, that's not vintage, but you know, it's retro or fits in. I like these. I've always wanted a pair of cowboy boots. Too small for me, these ones. And I don't need cowboy boots. It's not my priority right now, but I'll go with these. These ones are very cool too. Up there, some burgundy. Kind of Chelsea boots. More handmade jewelry. Some little frames, some tea. Just like a lot of different things. I like the fact that there were so many different things, and these prints were so pretty. So pretty. Little cards and brooches. I told her that she had a lovely shop. We ended up not buying anything. I felt bad. But if we lived near, maybe I would pop in every now and again. And now, what we did on our last full day was we went to Labyrinthe, a little labyrinth, and it was like a corn maze. Labyrinthe de Coutances, escape game, or just the labyrinth. We did not do the escape game because my son was too young. I think it was, from 10 years old and up. But for me, it was almost as intense as an escape game. Well, intense, not really intense, but like it was so big, 50,000 meters squared. And it was kind of like what do you call it? When you go around and you have to search for things. Chasse au trésor. Sorry, I'm tired right now. My brain is not translating very well today. I don't know why. What is the chasse au trésor? Treasure hunt, of course. So we did a treasure hunt, and this is like what they give you when you arrive. And there's 2 different labyrinths, and inside the labyrinth, the corn mazes, you go in and you find the stuff. They barred that part because it was like for a lot younger children. And then you just go around, and there's like, for example, you stop and there's like a big box and you have to put your hand in and decide which one is the bat, which one is a rat, and which one is a spider. Then there's one where you have to smell all the little holes and decide if it's strawberry, menthol, lemon, like cedre, pine, I think it's pine, lavender, and banana. So things like that, and like then you've got to go and find little signs and stuff. And at the end, you get this little kind of diploma. So you have the like a labyrinth on the back, or the maze on the back. Oh, my son's already put his name on it. Done. And then you get this little sorcery diploma. How cute is that? I guess they just like print up little flyers, and then they have little diplomas for the kids. So that was pretty fun. €7. Not too bad for an afternoon of fun. But it was so hot. So hot. And then that's it. I think that's everything that we did in that part of the trip. These are a few other things that we didn't do. This was just a bookmark I found at the tourism office. It's like a tapestry from one of the castles. Didn't go there, but I thought my partner would like this. And he did. He liked it very much. It was just free because I guess it was just like a flyer for the museum, but they made it into a bookmark, which is very clever and cute. This was the House of Biscuit, La Maison du Biscuit. And the reason we got this is because when we came to the Airbnb, there was a lovely box of biscuits waiting for us, which was really lovely. Like sometimes when you rent somewhere for a week, they will give you like a little, I don't know, like they'll give you access to tea and coffee and things like that. Maybe some rice and pasta, but like there was actually like this exact box actually of biscuits, like local biscuits. So that was cool. We didn't go and visit that place. We could have, but we didn't. I didn't have time. It goes very quickly. 5 days, when the first and the last day are kind of like travel days. It goes very quickly. So this is Chateau Chanloup. There were a few 2 castles around the place, and actually my son and my partner went to a castle by themselves one morning when me and my daughter were like, no, we're gonna watch Wednesday. Because Wednesday, the series, the second season of Wednesday came out. So they went to this in the morning when we were watching Wednesday, and it actually had like a show at night with lights and fireworks and music and all sorts of fun things. We didn't end up going because it was just a little late for what we had planned in like the mornings and stuff, but they went to visit that in the morning. So that was cool. And this, I just grabbed this because we went there last time that we were in the area. It's Alligator Bay. We actually have a fridge magnet from here already. Basically, it's like a small alligator zoo, I guess. Like, you have all these alligators. It's really hot. The thing I remember the most about it is it's super hot. So you have all of these parts with alligators, and then you have different turtles. There are like terrapins and turtles, all different kinds. There's like a kids game part up there. We didn't really bother with that much. And then, oh, that's new to 2025, the Anaconda Forest. So we didn't see that when we went, but there were the dragons, the kimono dragons were there. There's like snakes and like different reptiles too. Oh yeah, you can see them here. Down here are the different reptiles and snakes. And then there's a part over here, I don't know which part here, but there are huge, giant turtles, like the size of them. They're huge, and you can go and like take pictures with them. Like, they encourage you not to disturb them too much, but you can literally go over and pet the shell and like take pictures and stuff. So that was very cool. There's like 20 or 30 of them. There's so many of them. And yeah, there were albino alligators. That was cool to see. So we didn't go there this time, but we did. Yeah, that wasn't there last time. But we went there a few years ago. It was pretty fun. What's this? Oh yeah, caramel. Caramel and caramel, like moo, like a cow. Why do I have this one? I think because we were going to visit this, just go and see how they make the caramel. And they had like, yeah, that's it. They had like a bus for the chickens. I don't understand what that was. It's like a mobile place for them. They live in the bus, I guess, and it's mobile. And you can see different animals, art at the farm, and then the farm museum. And then obviously you buy caramel at the end, and cheese too. But we did not go there. This was an abbey that my partner wanted to go to, and we just didn't have time. And I don't know why he specifically wanted to go to this one. Was it because of the concerts maybe, or the Viking? Yeah, probably because of the Viking village. But we didn't have time to go to that one. But maybe a different time we'll go. Musée Christian Dior. A Dior Enchanted Gardens Museum in Granville. From the 12th of April to the 2nd of November. I guess it's something I would have done maybe just with my daughter. Or just hanging out. But I very, very much doubt that my son and my partner would be interested. I just thought it was a very pretty little card. I could show it in this video. Essential to Dior's personal life, gardens were a major source of influence for the couturier in terms of both fashion and perfume. 120 years after Christian Dior was born in Granville, the exhibition traces the memory of the enchanting garden of his childhood in his creations and those of his successors. It's got accessories and stuff. Would have been cool. Then there was a planetarium that was not too far away, but we were more wanting to stay in the kind of like World War II and castles. It was kind of like all about World War II and castles. So, no planetarium and no safari. I've never been on a safari. And my daughter really wanted to go to the safari. Like, really wanted to go. She was like, I've never done it in my entire life. Never once in my life have I ever done it. It would be the first time in my life. And I was like, yeah, me too. So that's not really the reason to go. I don't know. I've never been to safari. I'm not like chomping at the bit to go, but I would, I guess, enjoy it. And then this was another choice that we didn't end up doing, but was a luge, Normandy luge. I think it's just like a big park where you can just go and hang out outside and do fun stuff like luge, mini golf, sensorial garden. I think you can remove your shoes and like walk in different things. There's acro branch, acro tunnel, just different things to do. And then a little restaurant and stuff. So that could have been something we would do, like one of those things we would have done instead of like the corn maze or something. But that's fine. We ended up doing exactly the right thing on each day, which is perfect. So that was pretty cool. And then we popped home for 2 days, the Saturday and the Sunday, and on Monday we left again. And we went to the Jura. So it was a heat wave, unfortunately, so we were pretty hot for the full week that we were there. And the one thing that kind of ruined our experience was that we booked a hotel instead of like an apartment. We thought we were kind of booking a hotel / apartment, but it was really just a hotel, but not like a fancy hotel. It was like, it was clean enough, I guess, but it was like we all slept in one room, and then there was a bathroom, a separate bathroom sort of thing. That's all it was. There was no fridge and there was no AC, and it was a heat wave, so it cost us in energy because like we were all really hot and everybody slept badly. And then the fact that there was no fridge meant that when we were buying food, it was a touch wasteful. Like we couldn't even keep cold water. We'd have to go out and buy more water so that it would be cold, if you know what I mean, because it was like so hot, so hot. But apart from that, it was lovely. So we were in a little town called Morez, which is apparently the modern capital of glasses. Yeah, I don't know. It came up a lot when we were there. But otherwise, it's like a mountainous town, like surrounded by ski slopes and, well, not skiing at the moment because it was, you know, height of summer, but you know, in the winter it's crazy snow and skiing all around. Like you can see all the ski stuff. Let me zoom in a touch more. So we were in this town here, and you can see Switzerland is just here. So we were pretty close to Switzerland, and we arrived. We did the same thing. We went to the office of the tourist office. I keep saying office de tourisme. Went to the tourist office and got a few little leaflets and stuff. There were not as many like not hiking related activities. You're basically going there to hike or to ski, depending on the weather. So we were doing a lot of hiking, and there was a really cool thing here. Just turn it around. Jura Adventures. So Jura, isn't the Jura Adventures. And it's like an application on your phone, and you just download the application and then you follow the little missions that they give you, and it's all around the Jura. So if you're in a town and you just like go to the missions and you find cards and coins and all things, and at the end, if you finish the mission in that town, which kind of just takes you around the town to see some cool stuff, you can go to the tourist office and they'll give you like they'll give you a postcard or a coloring book or something like that. So it's great for the kids. And we did 2 of these, and one was for a postcard and one was for a coloring book. We did one in, let me try and find it, I think it was Saint Laurent, around here, and that was like, there was a church beside a lake, and we had to like go around the church and find all sorts of little fountains and all sorts of little things. It was cool. The other one we did was the town that we were in, Moritz. Most of our walking and hiking was around this area. We went the first morning, we went to the Pic de l'Aigle, which is here. Let me actually zoom in even more, because honestly it's all around this area. The Pic de l'Aigle is here. That was the first morning. It was a belvédère, which means a viewpoint that is high up. So it was steep. So we did that one, and then we did not the belvédère but the walk around the 3 lakes. Actually there's 4 lakes, but we just did the one around 3, so it was about 7.5 kilometers. After we'd already done that one, we decided we would do that, and we had wraps in our backpack to stop off, and that was cool. It was called the Little Scotland because of all the lakes and stuff, but for me it didn't look that much like Scotland. Some little mossy parts, yes, and the fact that there were lakes, but it was really nice though. So Lac du Petit et Grand Maclou. So we started here. I think our parking was here. We walked around this lake here, the Petit and the Grand. You weren't allowed to swim in there, but there were some old ladies swimming in there. And we popped our feet in, and there was a lot of fish around the kids' feet, and they thought that was great fun. And then we went down here, and it was into the forest, so that was nice and cool. Walking up this part, when we got to here, it was horrible because you were walking across, basically you were at the side of the road in full sun, and then there were just like fields beside you, and you couldn't even see the lake anymore. So what we did was I stopped with the kids under a big shady tree, and we just hung out for a bit, and my partner went, finished the walk and got the car and came and got us because it was too hot. It was far too hot, and we didn't have any water left. We had like 1/2 bottle, and it was warm, like real warm water. Like you would be just like, you would feel sick if you drank it. So that was the first day. Second day, the lake that we went to, what was it called? I don't know which one it was. It could have been that one. I don't know which of these lakes we went to. I took a little picture. I'll pop a picture up. We went to one of these lakes, and we just like spent the day, the kids swimming. They were building like little, with the rocks, they were building like little houses for the fish to come into, and there were like tiny little fish coming in, and it was just a lovely day. And we also just had a little walk around. My partner went to do some geocaches because the kids were just like, I just want to stay here and swim all day. And then the next day we did a walk in the Vallée et Cascade du hérisson. So hérisson is a hedgehog. So here, number 13 there. So we really stayed in this area. The Morez was here, and we really just stayed in this area here. So this one is the Cascade de Hérisson. And it's actually quite a large area. First we went to the visitor center area, and we just walked up and saw this is l'Éventail. Let me see. Is there a picture of it? Yeah, this one. So l'Éventail. So that was our first walk, and then we decided just to take the car and just come in a random part more at the top to go and eat our sandwiches and stuff. So we did a little visit there, walked back down, drove around up to there. It took about 30 minutes, so it's quite far. And then we came back in here at the Moulin Genet, and we also saw that one, the Saint-Jura, le Sceau, Jura. And we spent our afternoon, like we had a picnic side of the river here somewhere. And my kids just played by skimming stones and moving stones, making little waterfalls and all different things. I took a panorama picture of down here, probably around here, really at the bottom. I'll put that up for you to see. So yeah, we spent a nice day. It was also too hot, and by the end of our trip we're like, okay, let's go and grab something at the Carrefour, so the supermarket, on the way home, so we can have something to drink. We all got really cold big smoothies, and we were just like drinking our smoothies and all dreading going back to the hotel room to just be hot and not sleep. And we're gonna leave at like about 9:30 the next day, and my partner was like, do you just want to go home now? And we're all kind of like, kind of do. So at first we were like, are you sure? Because we did a lot of driving already that day, and it's a 6-hour drive back home, so we're like, I don't know. And I don't know why, but it was one of those like exciting holiday moments where we were all just like, oh, let's do it. I know we paid another night, but let's just go home. And everybody was like, yeah, I want to wake up in my own bed tomorrow. It'll be like a free day. So we did. And we were in the air conditioning of the car for the whole evening, all the way back home. And we got home around midnight. And it was just the perfect end to a wonderful, wonderful trip holiday. It was just perfect. Perfect end. I feel like we would have enjoyed our second week a lot more if we were a little bit more rested and it was less hot. But honestly, just such a lovely, lovely trip. Oh, I still have one more thing to show you. Fridge magnet. So this is the Comté, which is the region, I guess, that Morez was in. And it is a bottle opener fridge magnet. And then this is a little medal. My son has already drawn on his. He tried to swap it out for my partner's one, so it wasn't dirty, but didn't fly. And on the application for this like area, there were badges to collect. So whenever you did one of those belvédères, whenever you like climbed to one of the views that you really have to climb for, you scan the information board and you get a badge. And if you do 4 or more of the 14 badges, you get little goodies. So it was really cool. They both, my partner and my son, both got a medal and a balloon and a fridge magnet and a postcard. So that was really sweet, and they were really proud of themselves. It was really a fun, cool thing if you've got kids and you're in an area like that, and there's all these fun little things to do and little badges to collect and goodies to win. It's really cool. Very cool. And there was a geocache here and there too during that part of the holiday. Okay. So I think that's everything I have to show you. This is probably a pretty long video and very rambly. Extremely rambly. I hope you like it. I feel like I kind of went off on many a tangent. I don't know if this is a very exciting video. It's definitely more of like a relaxing fall asleep while I chat about my holidays and show you maps and things. So I guess it's great for ASMR. It's not really entertainment. Let's see. Okay, what should I put in the middle? Should I just pop this in the middle? Yeah. Because even though I have just talked for the last hour and a half at least, we still have the outro to do. Okay. So, I hope that you enjoyed this video. That you found it relaxing. And maybe a little interesting to see what we did on our holidays. I love being in France. Just like there's so much to see and spend your whole life going to different places every summer, and you still wouldn't run out of places to go, new things to see in France, I feel like. Okay. So if you would like any extra content from me, or you like this kind of video, because this is kind of the things, this kind of video is requested on Patreon quite a lot, like chat to us about your holiday, or chat to us about your plans for your videos, or chat to us about this and that. There's a lot of videos like that on Patreon. So if you like this kind of video and you would like to see more, you can pop over to Patreon, and for €3 per month you can support this channel. And I am going to make this my full-time job one day, guys. I really am. We're getting there. Thanks to you guys. But if you would like to support this channel but stay here on YouTube, I opened channel memberships, and for $1.99 per month you get access to the ad-free member videos. Members only, ad-free versions of my uploads. And you also get them probably an hour or two before everyone else. It's a little perk. Okay, so if you made it to this part of the video without falling asleep, I would like you to pop a little cricket emoji in the comments. The little bug, obviously. I very, very much doubt there is an emoji for a World War II clicker. I think they were, like, they had another use before World War II. They weren't made for that. But yeah. Little cricket emoji. Comments. And you can just pop that in with your regular comment, letting me know what you did this summer. If you did anything similar to us. What part would you have liked or disliked about our holiday? Not having a fridge was probably the worst thing in our holiday. That really kind of ruined it. Like, not ruined it, but you know, that really put a dampener on things. The heat wave without a fridge. if you are far too sleepy, that's okay. You can just pop that little cricket emoji in there by itself. I'll know what you mean. I will see your support. Thank you. Every little helps. Okay. So, I hope that every single one of my lovely sleepy squirrels are well. Wherever you are in the world, whatever's happening around you, I hope that you can find your own little bubble of calm. For example, if you are in Michigan, in the USA, like my lovely patron, Mariyah. Hey Mariyah, I hope you're well. Thank you for all of your lovely continued support. Mariyah has a little message for you guys. I hope you all are safe and healthy. Sending love to everyone. Thank you, Mariyah. I hope you all are safe and healthy. Sending love to everyone. And I hope that you all have a lovely